So let me explain our 5 steps and who is involved at Tony Walker Financial in this process. Step number 1 is something we call the vision exercise. Now we use a product, it's a proprietary product called the Worry Meter. What we're trying to do before we ever meet with somebody is try to determine what are their 3 or 4 biggest worries, whether it's running out of money, when to take Social Security, how to avoid stock market risk, how to get more mailbox money, whatever it is, we're going to meet, and usually that is me. It depends on the situation, but almost everybody that calls our office for a second opinion gets to meet with me in person. Now again, our topic is what happens if something happens to your advisor? What happens if something happens to Tony? This is really important. You're going to see this. So we have 3 other salaried fiduciaries that are trained in what I call the vision exercise. So as long as I'm available to do it, more than likely I'm doing most of these, I'm going to do the vision exercise, but they are highly trained, so if something happens to me, step 1 of our process continues on. So what is step 2? Step 2 is where we assess your situation. So you're bringing in all of your documents. I'm looking at tax returns, investment statements, annuity contracts, Social Security statements, other issues that come up. There's a ton of issues that can come up when we're doing this vision exercise, and that's where we're going to provide this free assessment. That's the game plan. Well, you say, well, who does the assessment? Yours truly. I use my nearly 40 years of experience to look at all of the plans we do, and I make sure those plans are done the way I want them to be done based on my experience that I've learned from meeting with the people. Or if a salaried fiduciary has met with that person, I'm going to look at that game plan and I'm going to make the assessment. Really important. So at that meeting, after we do the assessment, this is called the commitment phase, okay? We also kind of a subset there. We call it onboarding, and I'll explain why onboarding. So what happens during the commitment phase? Well, generally, this is the first appointment. This is the second appointment. Because our game plans are so extensive, and most people have never seen anything like this, the first thing out of their mouth is, under anything like this, I got to take this and study it. We say, absolutely. We want them to make sure they understand the products and the process before they commit to rolling over their money to Tony Walker Financial. But when they do, we have that process in place too. It's called the onboarding process. We have 3 different ways of onboarding, depending on whether they are investments. There's an onboarding process for that. If it's related to annuities, we have a separate onboarding process for that. And if you're looking at long-term care, Medicare supplements, life insurance that we offer through Tony Walker Financial, again, different people and a different process for that. But it all is tied, here's the point, to the original game plan. Everybody now in the organization is focused and following the game plan, all right? It's really important, and that's where that game plan comes into place. What's the 4th step of our process? Okay, that's called the implementation. Now, this is where everything happens. This is where we personally do everything. We move all the money over. We make the 401k rollover calls. We set up all the accounts. We set up all the distributions. We link everything back to your checking account so we can send you that mailbox money. We determine whether you should do Roth conversions, whether you should do QCDs. All these things are determined in our office, and we're going to implement all of those details for you. How do we know to do that? Again, because we have the game plan. I hope you understand you have to have a game plan for the process to follow. The products are just part of this, folks. Many of you are rushing out. You're just dumping all this money into these products. You get enamored with bonuses or people telling you they can make you 10 or 12%, all these past returns that mean nothing. Again, folks, call that the commodity casualty trap. And with the commodity casualty trap, if you're leading with products and not a process, it's going to come back to bite you at some point. You got to have the process, the game plan in place. The products go within the process. That's why we are so unusual at Tony Walker Financial in the way we work. And then finally, we have really worked on perfecting this. Then the 5th step is we're going to monitor your progress, okay? So as you go throughout the years, there's things that's going to change. There's times you may have needed more money. There's maybe extra money we have to work with. You would receive an inheritance, whatever, changes in your family. This comes up a lot as people move through retirement. But the bottom line is this game plan, as we go through the process and you age and go through what I call the second half of life, you're really going to want that game plan. Otherwise, how are you going to know what you've even done and how well you've done compared to the past years? There's no way you're going to know that without that game plan. And then guess what? When something changes, when you need a purchase, when you decide to travel, you want to do something with the kids, things change. We start this process all over again. In most cases, I know yesterday I had 8 appointments yesterday just with current clients who had changes coming up and they wanted to come in and talk with me. Well, I'm not going to pass them off to somebody else if they want to talk to me. I am totally accessible here at Tony Walker Financial, which is why I have such a large staff, folks. Our arrangement is totally unique to the industry. We have more and more service professionals and salaried fiduciaries. Why? So that it can free up my time to see more and more clients and prospective clients.
Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed that video. If you'd like, check out these other clips. And be sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button for more videos.